Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see who pops in early. We'll get started in just a minute. Who's the first one? Ivan is the first one in. So Ivan, if you want to, I got the ability for you to unmute yourself. Since you're the first one in, we can chat for a minute. We got some other folks coming, so we're going to be asking this question. Oh, I gotta turn all the chat stuff right. Hang on a sec. My chat's not working right. Everyone to everyone, and everyone can text to everyone. There you go.
There you go.
Ivan and Willie. Willie, if you want to, you can pop your microphone open and we can chat for a second. Let me know where you're from. First of all, where are you from? And what was your first TV set? What size was your first TV set?
Oh, I'm in Houston, Texas.
You're from Houston, Texas? Awesome. Willie, who you? What's your agency?
The Houston National Cemetery.
Oh, okay. So you with the VA?
Yes.
Awesome. We appreciate what you do, man. That's a heck of a service that you got. So how long you been with the VA down there?
Almost 9 years.
9 years. Good for you, man. Good for you. And what size was your first TV set?
Probably about 19-inch.
Probably about 19-inch. Color then.
Yeah.
We had some folks last time that they had one of the originals.
Oh, the black and white.
Yep, black and white and original. So we had some folks. Randy's here too. If you guys want to pop open and meet everybody, Willie's down from Texas. Whereabouts in Texas you say, Willie?
Oh, to Houston.
Houston? I'll tell you what, there's a new definition of humidity in Houston. That's all I know.
Oh, yes. Right now we kicking at 100.
It's 100, and there's a difference in, because I'm in Jacksonville at the moment, and it's, if you get inland, there's a difference in 100 versus Maryland. I don't care what anybody says. But Houston's got the same thing. It's like boom.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Stop you in your track.
That is a fact. So Randy, where are you from? I saw you had the ability to unmutify yourself.
Originally, or where am I from now?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either one.
Washington is where I work. Yeah, now.
Awesome.
So originally I was from I grew up in the Green Bay area, so in Wisconsin.
All right then.
Yeah. So
yeah. That's got a different level of cold in the wintertime. That's all I know.
It does, yes.
Everybody can talk about cold, but man, same thing with like humidity in Houston is one thing. Cold up there.
Oh yeah. Thing. It's definitely cold.
And what agency are you with?
VA.
VA?
Yes.
Awesome. Appreciate what you do, man.
Well, thank you.
You're doing good work there. You guys are awesome. So I appreciate it. We'll get started in just a minute. What size was your first TV set, Randy?
My parents or mine?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So let's see. I guess my parents probably, I don't know. It's the standard console type, you know, the one that stood on the floor, you know, that was in a box, and I guess that would be like 24 inches by whatever, you know.
Yep, that'd be a big
18, one. Something like that. It's yeah, that was about right.
There you go. Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'm aging myself. I think my first one was 8 or 9 inches, and it was black and white.
That's right. And ours was, I think ours was like Randy's. So, all right, if you have a chance, let us know where you're from. Pop it into the chat. And what size was your first TV set? We'll get cooking, and actually we're going to get rolling right now. So if you let us know what that is, I know that winds up dating ourselves, just like Bill said, we kind of get datafied, but other than that, we love it. So we're going to get started with USDA, EPA approved biolubricants. And we appreciate you guys joining us. We have a whole lot of interest in this. It's crazy how many folks are interested in this across the board throughout the federal government. So we appreciate you taking some time to check it out and see what's happening. Real quick, this is not affiliated or endorsed by GSA or any other agency. It's for you the audience for informational purposes only, and it's not an endorsement to purchase from any vendor, because we do have a vendor here, as a matter of fact, and there's a lot of questions about this, actually, Bill, coming up for you. Bill Woodworth is the COO for Nexus Green. Jennifer's not going to be here today. She had to bow out. So Bill's going to be running this one all by himself. If you have any questions, you can pop it in. You can raise your hand. We're going to pay attention and make sure that we get your answers, any answers that you need. If we have them, if we don't have them, we'll get them for you. Right, Bill?
Absolutely.
We'll do that. We'll make sure we do that. If you have anything in a private dialogue, jcoker@nxgreen.com. She'll be able to answer any questions for you if you don't want everybody and the mother to hear it. So the question I got for you guys, not only what size was your television set, but why are you here today? Is it because you use common lubricants? Is it you're on the hot seat for implementing the transition to green? It is happening. If you're not aware of that, make decisions which lubricants products you use. Are you responsible for safety compliance? We have one of those folks I know is here, or your boss made you come. You can pick whatever one makes the most sense. And if have you ever been to a Gov Brief session before, we really appreciate you joining us back. If not, your first time, welcome aboard to you guys too. So we want to make sure, is that hitting everybody? There we go. That's got some responses. I just want to make sure that's happening. While you're filling that out, here we go. You ready for this, Bill?
Yeah,
Best
absolutely.
briefing ever. This is what folks filled in when they were coming in. Frank from FAA, distribute SDS. What's a SDS?
Safety data sheets for a product.
Safety data sheets. We do have those. In fact, I'm going to get those to you in just a minute. You're going to have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Randy from the VA, come over with the knowledge of bio-based lubricants can purchase from GSA Advantage. In fact, you have a GSA contract. You don't have to buy from Nexus Green, but you have one, right, Bill?
Yes, we do.
And Curtis from FAA, the term bio-based is thoroughly explained. We'll do our best on that. Patrick from FWS, I can find a place to purchase required items. Love that. And Peter from the VA, substitutes work better and less expensive and more environmentally friendly. Now, you probably get two of those and probably is about the same price, give or take, competitively.
We try to stay competitive with all of our competitors. Sometimes, other competitors will dump on the market or have a special that, we don't meet, but for the most part, we're actually cheaper or right at the same price point.
Nice. Love that. There you go, Peter. You get what you want. Jatika. What a cool name. Jatika. Okay. There's data on safety for people using these agents. Yes, there is. Owen, I find more about bio-based lubricants to stay informed of the products on the market. Love that. And John from the VA, if you get to the point. Okay. We'll do our best, John. Love it. All right, Dave from NRC. Any environmental limitations? Okay, like ambient temperature, because that does matter, right?
It matters completely. Our lubricant you can use from approximately 160, 170 degrees down to about 30 below.
Very cool.
We're actually
Wow,
looking to extend the low end for more cold weather operation, but there really isn't any natural environment that where you won't be able to use it.
Gotcha. And Frankie from NPS, impacts on aquatic application. We'll talk about that for sure. Patricia, protecting people, very important. We'll talk about that for sure. Randy, vendors approved. We'll get to that. For you, Owen, which lubricants, bio-based lubricants, are acceptable to replace? Bruce on the VA, cost-benefit ratio. Robert, will products meet manufacturer specs for lubing? Great question. Tiffany, examples of where bio-based lubricants can be used in the Air Force. Love that. And purchasing options. So there you go. We're going to address all those for you guys. The agenda for today, here's what we got. We're going to talk about Executive Order 14081. We have certification initiatives that are happening out there, common lubricants and the replacements, protecting you and your people, the Q&A, getting back from you guys, whatever you need, making the change and continuing the conversation. So let's get at it. On the session docs that I'm going to grab for you right this minute, while I'm grabbing these session docs, I'm going to introduce you to the founder of Nexus Green. What's happening here? What is going on? There you go. The founder of Nexus Green. This is the guy. Bill Woodworth, tell us a little bit about how you got this whole thing started.
Well, the entire project was started when my son's school announced they were going to have to shut down for 3 days to lubricate the lockers, and a lot of the student activities were going to be canceled. We just decided that there had to be a better way, and 7 years later, we had a pretty good product. It has out-tested most of our competitors. It is patented. It is USDA bio-preferred. Our multi-use lubricant also carries an NS, excuse me, an NSF rating for safe around human consumption food. And we are in the process of getting our mil-spec 63460F for our CLP lubricant.
Very cool, man. So, and up in Norwalk, Connecticut, you happen to know about Frank Pepe's Pizza?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right up the road.
I love it. One of my faves. I just put in the in there for everybody. I got the session docs for you that's popped in there. I'll keep posting that in there. So my next question is, do you use any of these? So that one of the questions was the type of products that this is a lot of things this is a replacement for. So do you use WD-40 or CRC spray lubricant, liquid wrench blaster, 3-in-1 spray, Croyle spray, or other petroleum based or other silicon based? Because that's another part of the issue, isn't it? It's not just petroleum based, it's silicon based that could create problems for us too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And one of the main reasons, hang on one sec. All right, so if we look at this, one of the main reasons we're here is, we mentioned, is Executive Order 14081, right? And making the case for the change. So first of all, they're talking about expanding the market opportunities. That's what we're talking about today. You guys need to get stuff from the market for bioenergy and bio-based products and services. That's what we're talking about. Train and support, that's what this is all about. And that includes your workforce on how things can be done nowadays, and supporting biomanufacturing, which is exactly what Bill is involved in and why he's decided to join us today. So for the case of change, why are we doing this, Bill? What's happening here?
Well, what we found is that most people are using petroleum-based lubricants that really are dangerous, and they're dangerous for human health. They're dangerous as a flammable issue. And they're a pollutant basically. And what we have developed is a non-toxic, biodegradable lubricant that outperforms pretty much all the old line lubricants that are in the market today.
And those have been around for quite some time, right?
So they've been around since the 40s and 50s.
Exactly.
And last century.
And so that's why we asked the question. For those of you who didn't answer, I know Willie and a couple other folks did. Here's what happened back in 1941 when they started using these. This is a 10-inch. It's probably close to what you had there, Bill.
Yeah.
Not saying you're an old person, but there you go. 10 inch. 1953, it was 14-inch in color, and then 1957. This is what we had as well. I think Randy, you said you had this too, or I think it was one of you guys.
Can you make sure your slides are transferring?
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Because mine's not.
Oh, there you go. Maybe I did that. There you go. So this is what happened: 1941, 1953, 1957. Thank you very much, Bill. And nowadays, this is what it looks like. We can get a 65-inch for $495, 4K. And if you think about what's happened now, there have been some changes, but there hasn't been changes to the hazard warning, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, they haven't really changed their formulation since their original production. So
it is pretty incredible. So when we think about it, so when we're looking at this and what the executive order is trying to solve, right, and what a lot of folks in the agencies are trying to solve are these chemical problems, right? So tell us a little bit about like benzene and silica and the things that are problems that OSHA is saying that there are issues with.
Well, most of the problems and the problem chemicals related to lubricants are inhalation issues They cause cancer. They cause restricted breathing. They can cause many other issues in an individual with prolonged use. Um, our product carries none of these warnings and has none of these compounds in it. So you can pretty much use it anywhere, anytime, around anybody.
So we talk about cost savings. It's not just the expense, it's also the risk components, right?
Well, there's a risk component, but also if if you're going to use one of the old line lubricants, you're going to have to supply your employees with protective gear too.
Which is what happened with your was your son or your daughter that we were talking
My
about?
son.
Your son.
Yeah.
And how long did they have to shut the school down for?
They shut the school down for 48 hours to ventilate it before they'd let the kids back in.
And that was for lubricating the lockers?
Yeah, the spraying some lockers that were squeaking.
That's crazy. All right, so efficiency, improving the performance. They're also looking for industry leadership like you, Bill, to help with this to be innovative and stay competitive so that it doesn't cost the agencies more. In some instances, it may even last longer as these products get better and better. And again, corporate stewardship, making sure you're doing the responsible thing. That's the whole reason why there's such a push for this. So the USDA and EPA has guidance. NIH and CDC also has the guidance. I'm going to pop that also. That's going to be in the handouts as well. So if you look at this in the handouts, you can get that. But they're talking about getting away from PAWS. And so tell us about what all that means.
Well, basically these are chemicals and excuse me, that are natural products of mostly petroleum-based products. They leach out of it. They separate from it. They are dangerous to breathe or inhale or otherwise be around. And the government is trying to eliminate these PAWS. They're polycyclical aromatics. They're just trying to get them out of everything you use because they are a danger.
And that's why they have the acronym for you, PAHS, because I have no polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. All right. So that's what that is. So then we also have standards, right? We have ANSI standards. So that's one of the big ones that all the facilities managers, anybody that's doing fleet management, they're talking about what you need for this. And everybody has a box like this at home. I know I do. And I was after we started talking, Bill, I started thinking about what you do. And ANSI says, if you're using any of these, guess what you should be dressed like? It looks like we're getting flashbacks to 2020 with the original COVID, right? So here, if you take a look at this, most of us have this, and most of us are not going to dress up like this. And why they had to do that with your son, right? This is why, right?
Well, yeah, they're just not going to allow the children around it, but.
So USDA has biocertifications, EPA has Coast Guard certification, NSF H1. We're going to talk about a couple of these different things. We're not going to dive too much into PFAS, which is the forever chemicals today, but that's another issue that everybody's looking at, right? Now, all of that still comes from petroleum-based products as well, or some of those PFAS.
Some of them do.
Yeah. So let's anything you want to talk about with the different certifications here?
Oh, absolutely. Our products are certified by the USDA in their BioPreferred program. Mm-hmm. Our general product is certified at 72% or greater, which means that it's 72% biodegradable. Our marine product is over 80% biodegradable, and we're doing the testing right now to define what the biodegradability of the CLP will be. The Coast Guard certification, they came out with regulations about disposing of water and waste from ships within our coastal waters. And with over 80% biodegradability on a marine product, if you wash it out, you can wash it right over the side into the ocean. It will biodegrade. It won't hurt the fish. It won't hurt the reefs. It won't hurt anything. Our multi-use product has an NSFH1 rating, which means you can use it in a kitchen environment, in a galley, in an enclosed environment around human consumption food. And the path, we strive to eliminate those as much as we can. Usually those are a function of packaging, and we specifically go for green and biodegradable packaging whenever possible. All of our bottles are fully recyclable. We use recycled metal for our aerosol cans. So we've tried to eliminate all the bad we can, and we continue to look for new ways to do that also.
That's awesome, man. I love that. So when I do want to share these results, by the way, let's take a look at this real quick. So 71% are using WD-40.
Yeah.
I have it. Most people do. Used liquid wrench in the past doing car stuff, right? And they're using it. Some of them are using it fairly often, right? So appreciate that very much. And we also have you mentioned as well, the silicon based is also an issue, right?
Yes. Can you put that back up real quick?
Yep. One sec.
Right. There you go.
Yep.
We have tested side by side with WD-40, CRC, and liquid wrench, and we've outperformed them in standard ASTM testing with the 4-ball wear test and the duration testing. So, you know, the bottom line is if our product didn't work, we couldn't sell it. And we actually test better than most of our major competitors.
Love that. That goes back to what one of the folks was saying. Hey, I want to have it last longer. I want to have it do better, and I want to have it cheaper.
Yeah, we have no VOCs, so we really have no evaporation rate. It will eventually dry out, as all things will, but we don't have evaporatives in our product.
Super. So what we're talking, there's 3 different areas we're going to address today. So the question, you know, it doesn't cover everything, but we're going to be talking general, all-purpose lubricants, like your WD-40, right? That's where that fits in. We have petroleum marine lubricants. That goes to what they were asking about for what happens with the water, with whether it's Coast Guard or National Park Service. I think that the one question came from MPS, and CLP, which is the lubricant used in weapons, right?
Yep, small arms and medium-sized arms.
All right, so now we're going to go through each one of these, which is your general lubricant. Now, this is what you have now, and I'm not going to ask you to talk about anybody else's, but there's other green stuff that's coming onto the market.
There are some, yes.
Yeah, but the objective here for folks, because you have products that can fill this need today.
Yep.
And it's available on GSA Advantage, right?
GSA Advantage, we have a website, and for larger orders or bulk, they can call me directly and we'll take care of them.
Gotcha. So tell us about this that's used in that multiple agency is that means that it's not identified for any specific agency like your petroleum, your marine lubricants, right? So let's talk about this. Outperforms petroleum and silicon, lasts longer, doesn't evaporate. Everything on the right-hand side that you see there is, and what about, tell me about, I will get to the no odors, more important in some other areas. I got some interesting information about that from DOD folks, but and now what do you mean by pressurized and non-pressurized?
Well, our larger can is an aerosol spray. We pressurize with ambient air. We don't use exotic gases. It will work upside down, right side up, with the way that we've done the valving. Our smaller bottle is a pump spray. It's as green as you can get. It's easy to manufacture, and everything in that container is recyclable.
Perfect. So then let's talk about the marine lubricants then, because this kind of takes you to some specific applications.
Yeah. Well, when we decided to do a marine variant, we increased the biodegradability to meet or be in line with the Coast Guard recommendations and requirements. Right. This lubricant is over 80% biodegradable. It won't hurt fish. It won't hurt the environment, the marine environment, and it works better than most of its competitors, especially CRC Marine. Excuse me. And,
And
again, it's safe to use on the interior of a boat, in the galley or those areas.
and that's important. I was talking with some of the agencies about some of the challenges on boats. Just because, and PFAS is another area of this too, where we had outside of San Francisco, we had a ship that they let burn because of the PFAS, because they couldn't put it out with the current chemicals. So this gives us, this is not putting out fires. This is dealing with lubricants. And tell us about this one. I love this one because there's another story I have for you. If you don't have it already, if you don't say it, but this is for small arms and weapons, specifically DoD, right? That's the idea.
Eventually, yes. I mean, we're doing all the advanced DoD testing.
Okay.
We have gone through all of the ASTM standardized testing and meet all of their specifications at this point. We're waiting to get in line to do live fire testing. Basically, we were looking for something that wouldn't harm any of the finishes on modern weapons. And we found that it won't hurt the wood, the plastic, the composites, or the steel finishes. Excuse me. It doesn't have a smell, which in military environments is very important. One of the other non-toxic CLPs that the military is currently testing and using a little bit, you can smell it a half a mile away. It's awful. It smells like mint. And that's a problem. And our product has a natural negative charge, so it doesn't actively attract residue and dirt. Anything moist will, of course, attract some residue, but we don't actively attract. Excuse me, we don't actively attract it, and we've done testing out to about 600 rounds without any class 1 or class 2 failures. So it's a good lubricant.
Well, I'd be interested. Keep us posted on that DoD, because that's a big deal, obviously, for you guys. Randy's saying the VA police have weapons they're required to clean after firing at the range. That would be absolutely true. And Frank, Frank Bell had his hand raised up. I'll give you the chance to unmute. Do you have something as you saying hi?
Oh, no, I didn't even realize it. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
That's all right. No worries. Just want to make sure we caught you.
To go back just real quick, we're actually being used by local police departments in Connecticut.
Okay.
You know, who do a lot of firing and a lot of training. And yes, most people who use firearms clean, you know, regularly basically every time they use their weapon. We're testing at the far end of that scale to show that, you know, if you were using our lubricant, that you might be able to, in a situation, go farther than you might otherwise.
Very cool. I love the fact that it's lasting longer. And to your point, I was discussing this with some folks at DoD, because in addition to the lubricants like sunscreen and other things that you don't think about that have a smell, that's really bad when you're trying to stay stealthy out there in there. So anyway, so there you go. So tell us a little bit about this. I love what you got here. It's a lot of words. That's why it's in the handout, so you don't have to read the whole thing. But tell us what this means, because you're talking about specific products, right?
Well, these are the CLP and gun lubricants that are in the market that are used right now.
Gotcha.
Out of all of these, Frog Lube is the only other bio-based that's really used in any amounts. I put up our testing data. I put up as much testing data as I could get on the other ones. All of the numbers for them are numbers that they have published so that they're comfortable with. We perform better on the 4-ball wear test, which is the kind of the premier lubrication test, shall we say. I've listed the tests over on the left for some of them. So excuse me. And the other thing that we have that a lot of the others don't is we have a very high flash point compared to some of them.
Oh, that's
but break free is under 100 degrees centigrade. Hops number 9 is they listed at 12.8. I don't think that's right, but that's what they posted.
Okay.
My guess is that they probably needed a 1 in front of that, but I'm just publishing their numbers.
I got you.
But we're up, our fire point's up around 550 degrees. So it's pretty much the top of the list. And is technically considered non-flammable, but give me enough heat and enough pressure and I can make anything burn.
That's true. There's no doubt about that. All right. So from your perspective at different agencies that you have, one of the things that we like to do at GovBrief is find out what's in the way. So I think I might even have a poll for this one. What's in the way of this being adopted into your organization? If you want to throw something in the chat or raise your hand, be glad to include you for this. But a lot of times people don't like change. They need proof that the green stuff is going to work. We've seen that. Budget becomes an issue potentially. Procurement options. We have multiple people that were asking about this because they're seeing the requirements, but they don't know where to go. And that's why we're doing this with Bill and pointing the direction for you. When we find something that's good for agencies, we want to make sure we bring that to you. And then if there's something else, and if you want some help with that, let us know with the proof for all your products. We want to make sure that you get what you need. So let us know what's in the way of that. And then ultimately we want to check the boxes, right? Because you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your folks in your agency, protecting the environment. And I love this part, as a matter of fact. If you want to help set the example, and what we're doing is we're collecting information over the course of the next several months, and we're going to incorporate that into which agencies are going to be highlighted in meeting the executive order, as well as helping folks understand within their agencies. So if you need anything, either from GovBrief or from Nexus Green, we'll do our best to be able to get that. Right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm happy to supply any information people want because we're very proud of the product and we think it is the best in the market.
Now, do you have samples that you can send to folks too?
Within reason, yes. I had a request for 250 samples the other day, and it was a reasonable request when it was explained to me. So, we did that. I'm happy to supply test samples to people. All they have to do is call the company, and either Elizabeth will take care of them or I'll take care of them personally.
You got it. I'm going to end this question in 3, 2, 1. Any last minute? Okay. All right. So what's next? I'm going to open this poll up and then we'll get you guys out of here because we want to make sure I know you got plenty of things to do. If you'd like to continue the conversation and you want to pilot something in your organization, if you want to meet to talk with anything with Nexus Green, if you want a follow-up meeting, if you want to participate in future briefings, or if you have another issue, we kind of asked that as well on the last one. If you have something specific that you'd like, please let us know. We want to make sure we get that for you.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned earlier to everybody, when you're doing things here, it's no obligation to buy from anybody, but we have multiple people that were asking, how do you do it? Well, guess what? Bingo. If you want to try out Nexus Green products, you can, because you guys are GSA schedule holders. And I know that there's some challenges sometimes with GSA. So if you have any issues, they can reach out to you directly, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And as you're working on this, small business, you guys are small business, right? And those numbers down at the bottom, NSF H1, these are certification numbers. Is that what they are? What do these mean?
Yes, well, that's our schedule number and our cage code that will allow people to find us, at GSA.
Right. But what about the NSF H1? What does that mean?
Well, that's the registration that certified our product is safe around human consumption food, which
I
means
got you.
galleys, food preparation areas, anything like that.
And bio preferred, and then you have military stuff.
Well, the USDA bio preferred is the certification process with the government for your biodegradability, and then mill PRF 63460F is the mill spec under which we're trying to certify that we're in the process of certifying the product now.
Just like that. Just wanted to add that our GSA schedule is currently under review. All right. So there you go. Fantastic. I appreciate that. And yeah, if you have any trouble, reach out to Nexus Screen. You will get by the end today, early tomorrow, you get the presentation, the session docs, link to the video if you need to see it. Continuing education cert, let us know. We'll get you the documentation for that. And if you want to chat with folks one-on-one, any last minute that you need, you can raise your hand. You can pop it in the Q&A or just send it to Jay Coker and NSX Green. And otherwise, you can reach out to those cats right there, Bill and Jennifer Coker. So we appreciate you, Bill. Thanks for doing what you're doing. It's a heck of a thing.
You.
Heck of a thing. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get you guys out of here. And if there's anything you guys need, please reach out. We'll be glad to help you any way we can. Bill, you got any parting comments for everybody?
No, I appreciate everyone who came to learn about our product and looking forward to working with you to see if we can get you to use it.
Love that. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the summer. Try to stay sane if you're in the purchasing world in the last 38 days.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Yep.